we are going after for the life that we deserve. Hi everyone, this is Yanni and welcome to my channel. Happy New Year. I'm a bit sick, that's why my voice is a bit raspy. I have this feeling so sudden and new. No, I'm just joking. So, Happy New Year. The first week of 2026 is already done. And I know some of you are already feeling like they're sleeping away. Sleeping. Not sleeping, slipping away. Not because you're failing, not because you're unmotivated. It is just because you're still making goals or you're still building goals on top of the same survival patterns that exhausted you last year. And if no one has told you this before, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, but you have to realize you're still in surviving mode. So today, I want to show you in this video the different way to approach this year without pressuring, demanding, pushing yourself into this new you. It is a way that's more of understanding yourself and not fixing yourself. So, 2026 isn't actually about reinventing yourself. It is more about listening to yourself. Every January, we always force and demand ourselves to be this new year, new me, to hustle harder, to discipline more, to force change based on sheer willpower. But here's the truth that none of us or you never realized. We cannot build a peaceful life from the same nervous system that's still on survival mode. Again, I'm gonna repeat it for you. I'm gonna say it slowly. The thing that nobody of us never realize is that we cannot build a peaceful life from the same nervous system that's still in survival mode. And if you've already slipped this first week, not slipped, well, actually, yes, but slipped through your goals in this first week of 2026, just tell yourself there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken, you're just a human. So this year, instead of pushing yourself in the same cycle of pressure, I want to help you to understand the deeper why in your goals. So you can finally create a long-lasting goal. So you can finally create changes that last. Why your goals keeps falling apart, especially if the first week of the year. You know why? Because most resolutions are built on pressure, demand, comparison, fear, and fantasies of ourselves we wish we could be, the Delulu side. We set goals like, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., I'll go to the gym every day, I'll eat healthy foods, I'll be happy. But those things are your what's and not your why. These whys are shallow, borrowed, or rooted in shame. Your body will eventually reject it. So the only thing that we can do is to find or start with our why. And your why isn't supposed to be a slogan. It's not supposed to be a quote on Pinterest. It's not a productivity hack. Your why is supposed to be an emotional root underneath your desire to change. For you to know your deepest why, ask yourself these three questions. So number one, what survival pattern do you want to break? You have to tell your truth in this kind of question. Because if you're in survival mode, every goal is actually a rebellion of something that once protects you. So if you say like, I want to be healthier, that is actually a vague answer. It's not telling you the truth. But if you answer this question with, I don't want exhaustion to be my identity, then it is actually your truth. Or like, I'm done proving my worth through burnout, that is actually also the truth. And if you want to really go deep dive in your inner core truth, you'll probably answer this question with, I want to feel alive, not just functional. So, what will be your answer in this first question? Go deep. There's actually one phrase that my teacher always said to us when I was in college, go into the deep. So, for you to answer this first question, you should stop lying to yourself. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. It's not just because you want to do this because everybody's doing it, because Khloe Kardashian is doing it. Tell the truth. Be honest. It's like talking to your future self, and your future self is asking you. Come to think of it, it's like you're on a table and person in front of you is your future self. And your future self is asking you this first question. And she is telling you to have an honest answer. What survival pattern I am trying to break? Answer this question and you'll know your first why. Second, who am I when I am not coping? So, in this question, it's more of like, what's your identity? For you to know your deeper why, you have to know who you are first, who you want to be. Is it someone who like more healthier mindset, a transformational mindset, or like a healing person? It's more of like an identity, who you are if you are no longer coping. It's like picturing yourself in the future. For example, if you want security with your money, you're not gonna say, I want to save money. It's more of the task. What's your identity for you to feel secure? You probably answer this question with, I want to feel safe and not scared. Can be. Or like you can say, I want to trust myself with stability. Or like, I want to make a life without thinking about the future. That's actually an identity. If you actually know who is your future you, then you can build goals based on these identities that you want. If you can able to answer this question and pertaining to your identity, then you can build goals based on your identity shifts and not punishments. And third, you probably ask yourself, why am I now thinking of this deeper why instead of just thinking of something that I think of, save money, stay fit, stop scrolling, because everything is vague. And probably you've been failing every now and then is because there is always a moment when surviving stops being enough. I think you're in a position where like, how can I change myself where I will not be in the same cycle as I was before? The reason that you're doing it now because maybe now you're just tired, maybe you're just lonely, or maybe you're still repeating patterns that you'd break and you finally realize about it. This is actually one of the biggest lessons that I have. Probably you also realize that you keep on abandoning yourself. So the why that you're doing right now is it's not only a goal, but it's actually a closure to your old wounds. But knowing your why is just a beginning. You also need this courage, this push to stay when your survival mode tells you to run again. So now that you actually know what drives you, we have to find that force that should keep us going when the motivation fades. And this force is what I know and what I love. It's called grit. There's actually a favorite guest of mine in the podcast of Mel Robbins. She is an author of the book Grit. Her name is Dr. Angela Ducksworth. Yeah. And she said that grit is a passion and perseverance that lasts long. So people will probably say that it's a hustle culture or something like that. But if we are talking of building or knowing our why, what if you have this two person in your body, the one that is on survival grit, which is telling you that I'm gonna push because I have to, but I'm gonna stay here because it's dangerous. But the other one is fighting because you already found your deepest why and it tells you that I'm gonna push forward because I know it's safe. If you're making a goal based on the deepest why, this kind of grade is not just about intensity. It's actually about telling your nervous system that it's safe. It's safe to grow. It's about choosing yourself again and again. So how do you build this kind of greed for 2026? Something that will support your deepest why so you will not go back on the same old pattern that you have. Something that will probably tell yourself that it's okay to grow and it's not dangerous. I'm going to tell you 4 steps. First, lower the bar to raise safety. If you keep pushing yourself in the same cycle of pressure, your body will keep thinking that you're in danger, which you are actually not. So instead of telling yourself, I'm gonna work out for 1 hour a day, just make it 10 minutes. Or like, I'm gonna journal a whole notebook or a whole page a day, just make it 3 sentences. Stop pressuring yourself because your nervous system will probably think you're still in danger. And that is why every one of us keeps on going back or slipping back on the same old patterns that we actually want to forget last year. Your body doesn't need big leaps. You're just forcing yourself from the trends and demands of the people around. You have to be for yourself. You and you alone will change your life and no one else. Trust the small, consistent signal of safety. If your body says, oh, 10 minutes will not be bad, every 1% of change will be 100% change in the whole year. Never forget that. Second, accept emotional resistance. What I mean by this, sometimes you fear of something, you fear of change. What if that happens? Or like you're bored or like you feel discomfort. It's okay, but it doesn't mean that you're failing. It is actually a good sign that you are healing because you're listening to your body that sometimes you cannot push yourself and you need rest. And if you do this, your nervous system will say, oh, okay, she's here for me. Then we're not in danger anymore. And if you accept that fact that sometimes you have resistance, you can actually move through your goal that probably lasts you long more than 10 years. Third, track emotional progress. Quality versus quantity. Most of us always track measurements, weight, inches, calories. Try to keep tracking times where you feel safety, where you feel clarity, where you feel peace, or where you have small wins where you trust yourself more than anybody else. Track times where you are there for yourself because this is where you really transform your life. 4. Build a support system that reminds you you're not alone. Because being in a survival mode actually isolates people. If you go out in the survival mode era, you will feel more connected. Follow people who have the same journey as you are. Don't follow people who are already very successful because you will just feel down and you'll probably compare more yourself to them as motivates you. Follow people who are still small because if they can push themselves, then you can also push yourself. And if you found community who have the same vision and passion as you are, then I'll promise you you'll never feel alone anymore, even if they're just online or something like that. Find a community where you feel like telling your why. Let people witness your growth. Let them hold you and motivate you when you slip. Let them celebrate who you are. So find this community. That is the reason I made this YouTube. I only follow people who are small YouTubers because I also want to follow their journey. I want to see and witness that if they can push themselves, then I can also push myself as well. I do watch and follow people who are already famous in YouTube, but I don't really, spend time watching them. I do watch them or like spend time going to Instagram who are already like have 100,000 followers because I'll just end up, doing the self-pity and comparing myself to them. Follow people, build a community, find a community where you feel safe in telling your deepest why. And if you already have found your deepest why and have the script and tell your nervous system that they are safe and that they are not in danger anymore, you will actually stop surviving your life. You will actually start shaping it. You'll stop surviving, you'll start living. Believe me, because I'm already on that kind of level. So here's the blueprint that you need for 2026. 1. Name the pattern that you want to break and you're done repeating. Second, choose the smallest action to break the pattern. Not the 1 hour exercise, just 10 minutes. The smallest patterns will signal your nervous system that you are safe. Third, create a support system that tells you you are safe and tell yourself that you are safe and not in danger anymore. Fourth, commit to a long term on becoming who you were or who you want to be before the survival living started to take over. This is not a resolution. This is actually a reclamation. Don't wait for everything to change. Go after it. And for you to go after it, find your deepest why and grit. So remember, 2026 doesn't need a new you. It needs a free you, a grounded you, a you who no longer builds goals from fear but from the truth. So this year, don't chase goals. Try to remember that you don't have to change goals. Try to break patterns and rebuild identity. Choose safety, choose identity, choose yourself. When your why is rooted in healing and your grit is rooted in safety, you actually don't need the new year, new me. You actually become the version of yourself which you are actually supposed to grow into once surviving is not only the option anymore. So, I still wish you a happy new year. And if you feel slipping again, go back to this video and remind yourself that probably your why is not deep enough. That's why you keep slipping on your goal. So, for you to know this, try to understand what is your why. Please, you have to actually befriend that darkness, befriend that little small inner child of you for you to know your deepest why. So I hope this video helps you a lot. This is actually one of my learnings last year, and I am now, we are now, and you are now not waiting anymore. We are going after for the life that we deserve.